Hey folks, welcome to Woody's World of Wonder again. You're still probably a bit bored. I am. And anyway, May the 5th today. What happened on May the 4th? It was probably with you. I was bored of the old normal Star Wars stuff. Recently watched the prequels for the 4Q franchise wars. Thought I'd have a go at something different this time. I went for Solo, a Star Wars story. I already own it on Blu-ray. I just hadn't watched it for ages, so I slipped back into watching that again, and I was pleasantly surprised. For me, it was a fun adventure. If you can throw aside the fandom's hate, if you attach it to everything that's in the Star Wars story, there's so much there, and copying. If you can put it aside from that for a moment, it's actually a lot of fun. It's billed as a space western. To me, it's not really a space western so much. It is the sort of that boy's own sort of story, that Saturday afternoon matinee sort of film, King Solomon's Mines, even Indiana Jones, as it were, sort of thing. It's a heist movie, and it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of good characters in there. What can I say? Full stop. The biggest mistake was making it a Han Solo movie. If they wanted to attach it to Star Wars and they made it a Lando movie, it would have worked a hell of a lot better. That character needed development. He could have really done with the development there. It would have worked a lot better for him. Han Solo always worked better, as you know less about him. When they did the same thing with Wolverine, they gave him an origin story and explained too much about him. You lose the mystery of a character, you lose the appeal of a character. There you go. Solo, a Star Wars story anyway. What happens with it? It gives you what feels like really a kind of, a rather trite, forced backstory almost, filling in every gap that they can possibly think of. Giving him his name is particularly wrenching. It's not good. I wasn't interested in it at the cinema. It wasn't promoted particularly well. There was all the stories of everything that went wrong with the directors being changed around, fired, everything like that. The stories of Alden Ehrenreich having acting lessons for it. And it's a shame because the guy's good. He is a good actor. He's great. It's fantastic, actually. He gives a lot of charm to the performance. Yeah, it's not really Han Solo. It's too light and quippy, really, for a Han. They say it's an early version of Han, but it's too light and quippy. I always enjoyed what Harrison Ford brought to the role, largely, is a sense of being annoyed with everyone. And it worked great. Really, that's not how the Force works. Stuff like that just sort of makes the character. His quips and his ad-libs and stuff were really what the character was built on. You get back to this though, it's a lot of fun. As I say, it's a boy's own heist adventure. It's got a lot going on in it. If you can separate it from the Han Solo business and Star Wars itself and the toxic fandoms and all that, just sit down and watch it. It's a great Saturday afternoon matinee sort of romp there. What did I say about each actor, each character? Alden Ehrenreich, fun, bit too lightweight, but a good performance. Really is a good performance from him. I can't knock him for really what was an impossible job. Chewy, the new Chewy's fantastic. Jonas something or other. He's really brilliant. He's great, full stop. He's got fantastic physicality. He inhabits the character really well. I'm very chuffed to bits with it. Kira, Emily Clark, fantastic surprise. Filling in the Leia type character there. She works really, really well as a character from his childhood. Then he meets again in the modern day, and yeah, works really, really well. I'm very happy with that. Tobias Beckett, Woody Harrelson, his mentor, and the guy who basically they used to form the whole thing of the whole Solo character. he's great, as Woody Harrelson always is great. It's just, a shame that a lot of characters are forced into what they do in here, but he's really good. I liked him a lot. Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian is the biggest saving grace of this movie. He's fantastic, he's charming, he's brilliantly cast as the smuggler, gambler and romancer of robots. Works really, really well. As I say, for me, I just wish it had been his movie. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, yet another brilliant droid character, quirky, full of personality and charm. Loved her. She may annoy some, but I found her really quirky and worked wonderful. So Paul Bettany came in to fill in as Dryden Voss then after the original actor couldn't come back for the reshoot, and he's great for it. Once again, charming, ruthless. I mean, really ruthless, and he fills that character excellently there. It's great. There's nothing let down there. Ray Park comes back as Darth Maul, well, at least as the body of him. Sam Witwer this time comes as the voice from out of the cartoons and everything. Wonderful. Shane Peter Serafinowicz wasn't brought back in for this, but they preferred Sam Witwer's voice for it, so it worked. And it gave you the only lightsaber really in this whole movie, full stop. As I say, I liked it a lot. I think, thinking back on it, I think George started working on this about 2012, and he commissioned Larry Kasdan to start writing the script for it then. But as soon as he'd sold out Lucasfilm to Disney, they pulled him off that to work on The Force Awakens, and I think he'd been working on it with his son Jonathan Kasdan, and Jonathan continued and finished off the script himself. It's possibly why maybe it's a bit lightweight at times and maybe a little bit off on the pacing, but it's not too far off. It's still a great fun movie. I think this would have had a lot better chance at maybe sequels and things carrying on from it, really, if it hadn't had that ridiculous budget of I think about 275 million, something like that. That had killed any idea of anything else stone cold dead. But as I say, if you can separate it a little from the Star Wars story itself, which unfortunately is in the title of the film, if you can separate it a little from that, to me, it's still a lot of fun. Good Saturday or Sunday afternoon sort of matinee movie. A real boy's own adventure. A lot of fun. Woody's World of Wonder out.